Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name's Mary Ellen. I'm a decorative planner, but I'm also a functional planner. I use a happy planner, and when I say it's changed my life, I really do mean that. So what I'm here to talk to you about today is habit tracking. I'm starting a healing journey. I've had two major losses in my life in the past 4.5 years. It's been extremely rough in many ways, and it's caused a lot of anxiety, some depression. It's caused lots of issues in my life, and it's time for me to really get back to basics and make some changes in my life for the good. I've been reading the book Atomic Habits, and I've learned quite a bit about building healthy habits. Before I begin making this, I just want to give you a few tips that I've learned from the book. It's a really good book. You should check it out. There's tons of information in there that I'm not covering. I'm just going to give you a few basic points that I thought were important to me and have helped me figure out how to make some changes. Just a disclaimer, I read this book, but I only read it one time, and I'm basically just summarizing things how I see it, and I might get it wrong, so just so you're aware of that. So the first thing I learned, it's not necessarily about making goals, it's more about creating systems. So what that means basically is habits. So it's not like I'm going to be, this weight by this certain day. What it means is I'm going to make these little changes every day to get me to that point. But it's more about the process. You really need to be specific on the habits that you want to track and quantify things and stuff like that. Another thing I thought was interesting and helpful is the author talked about making your habits your identity. So basically, if you're going to work out every day, instead of saying, I am going to do this, what you can say is, I am someone who works out. I am a healthy person. Something interesting about that book was habit stacking. So say in the morning you want to create a habit where you take a walk, you drink 20 ounces of water, you do some journaling. What the author's saying is basically, before I take a walk, I will drink water. After that, I will do some journaling. So if you do things in a certain order and stick in that order, it's more likely to work in the long run. The other thing is make it small changes. So he talks about being 1% better every day and how that accumulates over time. I mean, 1% is not a lot, but at the end of the year, that's incredible progress, right? He talks about making bad habits impossible, removing things from your environment. For example, one of my new habits that I'm really trying to enforce is not drinking alcohol during the week. And if I just don't have wine in the house, I'm not going to drink it. He also talks about making things convenient. So one of my goals is to eat 5 servings of fruits or vegetables a day. So if I cut up those fruits and vegetables at the beginning of the week, they are ready to go. I can just grab them out of the fridge and eat them. And that way I can make sure that I get it done. I'm not putting it off saying, oh, I have to cut that up or whatever. Another fun tidbit is don't break the chain. He's talking about never missing something twice. Like you can miss a habit on a day, but don't miss it 2 times in a row. So if you take a walk on Tuesday, you don't take a walk on Wednesday, you need to take a walk on Thursday because you don't want 2 days in between, because once that starts, it becomes a pattern and then you can fall off. So basically, it's fine if you take a day off. It happens with everyone, but then get right back to it the next day. And a perspective I like that he talked about is instead of saying I have to, say I get to. And that one word difference can really change things in your brain. For example, I get to meditate today instead of I have to meditate today. Or I get to take a walk today instead of I have to take a walk. Not everybody can take a walk, right? So look at it that way. You get to do that. You get to drive to work today. You get to do it because not everybody has a job. So I think you see what I'm saying. I'm going to stop talking to you about that, but I just think that you should check out that book. I'll link it down below. It's really interesting. And I have read books on habits before, but I found this one to be really helpful. And I definitely want to reread it because I got the audiobook, and you know how when you're listening to books, sometimes it doesn't really sink in. This is going to be my habit tracker for December. I'm starting using the tracker in December. I could have waited till January, but I thought, you know what? Let me just jump in. This is not going to be New Year's resolutions. It's not going to be goals. What this is going to be for me is hopefully a life change. What I'm doing in December, and I talked to you about the 1% better every day, I'm starting out slowly. There's going to be a lot of habits I'm tracking, but they're going to be very small at first. And every month I'm going to build them up to be more. And you'll see what I mean as I talk about each habit. I like to play games, as we talked about before. So what I'm going to do is create a habit tracker that has a score. So I'm going to score myself. I know this isn't for everybody. I know that you might feel more pressured by that. For me, I feel like it's a game and it makes it more fun and it makes it more likely that I'm going to do things and get them done because I'm afraid that I'm going to get a low score, if that makes sense. So I'm going to have a daily score and I'm going to have a monthly score. At the end of the month, I'm going to figure out, I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm going to figure out like how much of a score I need to get a reward. And every month I'm going to give myself a different reward. In the book, the author talks about accountability. So what I'm going to do is somehow work Allie into this and make my daughter and make a contract with her so that she can hold me accountable and I only get the reward if she approves. You know what I mean? So I know it sounds silly, but I think for me, it's going to work better with the scoring system. These are just daily habits I'm tracking. I'm also going to be tracking weekly and monthly habits, but that's going to be coming later. I'm going to start with daily habits. Some of them are going to be morning, afternoon, and evening, but I'm really not breaking them down like that on here. Every day before I go to bed, I'm going to sit down in my planner and check off what I did. That is the plan anyway. I'm hoping it works, but let's just start and I'll talk about it some more. So these are teacher checklists from the Happy Planner. It comes in a pack of filler paper and they're meant to be classroom lists. Obviously, I'm not a teacher, so, well, I teach you guys, but so I'm going to use them for Habit Tracker. And there's so many ways you can use these sheets. I've used them for tons of different things. So I'm going to turn the page here. I'm going to write each habit here, and I'm going to write the number of days in the month here. So first, I'm just going to go ahead and write in the numbers. Okay, now I have some room left over here. I could decorate down here, but I may just leave that blank. Now, this is where I'm going to write my habits. Another thing I want to mention is I'm going to have you guys hold me accountable as well. So what I'm going to do is post this on Instagram, on YouTube, every month at the end of the month or at the beginning of the next month. Me telling you that means you're holding me accountable and I'll be kind of embarrassed if I don't do it. You know what I mean? So I think that's an extra level for me that I need. So if I don't share it, let me know. That will kind of kickstart me to do it the following month. Let's get to the habits that I'm tracking. I'm also going to decorate this part down here just so you know I'm not leaving it like this. So at the end of this whole thing, I will decorate and you can watch that if you want. So like I said, these aren't really going to be in any particular order, but I'm going to try to sort of do the morning stuff in the beginning, but it doesn't really matter that much. So I told you I'm starting out in December with small improvements and I'm going to get more intense as I go along because I don't want to overwhelm myself. So the first habit is to wake up. I eventually want to wake up at 5:30 every day. I currently wake up about 7. I snooze my alarm. I wake up at 7:15. I snooze it again. I get out of bed at 7:30 to 7:40. My goal for December is to wake up at 7 and get out of bed by 7:15. That is a very small goal for me. I feel like I can do that. So I'm going to write 7:15 wake up. And what I mean wake up, I mean get out of bed. In January, it might be 7 or 6:45, and I'll just kind of make it go down from there. And then my nighttime bedtime will change as well. 18 ounces of water. So I know it's good for you if you drink water in the morning before your coffee, and I never do. I do a little bit to take my vitamins, and which actually is the next one. I take a little water to take my vitamins, but then I don't finish the water bottle. So I have a water bottle that is 18 ounces, and that I'm going to drink one of those before my coffee. And that's a challenge for me. I know that seems dumb, but 18 ounces is kind of a lot for me to drink before I even drink coffee, right? So I'm going to try that for December. And by the way, I'm doing these in November as well. I've actually already incorporated a lot of the habits I'm going to talk about into my routine, but I'm not consistent enough with them and I don't keep track of them. But I wanted to start with a full month so that I could get the full benefits of the scoring and all of that. Next up, affirmations. And what this means is positive affirmations that I say in the mirror. That is what my therapist recommends. She calls it mirror work. And I have been doing it, but I'm not consistent enough. I have not been doing it every day. So I'm going to try to change that. This is literally like 1 minute or less, just talking to myself. I am worthy, I am strong, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Over time, it's supposed to sort of retrain your thinking and change your mindset. So we'll see. There's so much that goes on in our subconscious mind. And so feeding thoughts into my subconscious mind, positive thoughts, can't be a bad thing. We definitely can all work on better self-image. I think my self-image is pretty good, but then when I listen to myself throughout the day, once in a while I'll catch myself and it's not that great. I keep thinking it is, but it's not. Everyone has those thoughts like, oh, I'm going to fail at this, or oh, I'm ugly, or I'm so dumb. And you just don't pay attention to them, right? So that's another thing I've been trying to do is every once in a while stop and think, what am I thinking right now? You can then catch yourself as you're going throughout the day and see if your thinking is negative and kind of turn it around into a positive thought. I don't know. I've been trying that for a little bit. I don't do it every day. I'd like to. I'm not going to track that, but I am going to track affirmations. I'm going to call the next one personal development. And what that means to me is either reading or listening to a podcast or doing some sort of therapy work, something that is getting me toward the goal of more healing mentally. And also like learning about mental health, learning about grief, learning about habit, anything that puts me in that mindset and helps me learn something, that's personal development. Actually, I should put a time on this because I think that's necessary. Remember, be specific. This is a morning thing. We're going to start this at 20 minutes because I actually enjoy doing that kind of thing. So I don't think 20 minutes will be too hard for me. But I eventually want to make it probably 30 minutes a day in the morning, maybe even 45. Next up, I'm going to write planner because this is going to be me writing in my planner, and I'm going to write journaling. I'm not putting a time limit on these. All it means is I need to be looking at my planner every morning because I don't do that currently. I have in the past, but I need to at least look at my planner, check off the things I've done, maybe write a little bit so that I'm writing every single day and journaling every single day. And I enjoy these, so that's not a chore for me, but I'm not going to set a time limit. Like I said, I'm just going to do what I need to do for the day for these two things. Okay, we have empty dishwasher because sometimes it's not that easy for me to remember to empty the dishwasher every morning, and I always don't feel like it. So it takes literally 3 minutes or less, 4 minutes or less. It's so easy. And then the dishes will go in there all day and we won't have dishes in the sink. And that's really important to me because I'm trying to keep my environment really tidy here so that I am in a better mental state because I feel so much better when things are straightened up and clean. All right, next up is skincare. And basically what that means for me, I don't do much in the way of skincare. I used to try to do all sorts of stuff, but I find that what I need is washing my face with a gentle cleanser and putting on sunscreen. I'm really trying to put sunscreen on every single day now. I think everybody should do that. I also put it on my neck and I put it on my hands. The one I have now is breaking me out a little bit. So if you have any good recommendations for a daily sunscreen that feels not too oily and also doesn't break you out, let me know. Okay, the next one is a little bit difficult for me. I'm going to write hair and makeup. So I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but back several months ago, probably 6 months ago or so, I started putting makeup on every day and doing my hair and making myself feel pretty every day. I want to do that again because it made a big difference in my mental health. And I don't really see anybody during the day. It's basically just me. But I'm in the habit of just throwing sweats on, which I still, let's be honest, I'll still wear sweats, and not caring what I look like. And then, my hair is frizzy from sleeping on it. I'm pale. I've got dark circles. And I think if I put makeup on, I don't mean a lot of makeup. I literally mean probably like a little mascara, a little blush, and like covering my dark circles. I think just doing that will really help me feel perkier, feel better going about my day, feel more confident. And that's part of healing for me, is feeling more confident. So that's something I want to do. And by hair, I just mean like, making it presentable. Because right now I'm sitting here, my hair is kind of flat because I went to bed and it was still sort of wet and it's like not good, So I just feel better when I look better. So that will be hard for me because that's an extra step that I don't do. But if I get in the habit of doing it, I think I'll just feel better about myself. And then if I go to the store or something, like I don't know, it just makes a difference. And I know that's not for everybody. For me, I feel like I need to do this or start doing this. So that's going to be hard. Okay, next we're going to write exercise. This is definitely something that we are going to build upon as the months go on. What I'm doing for December is 10 minutes. Literally 10 minutes a day. Now, what that means is anything. It might mean yoga. It might mean lifting weights. It might mean 10 minutes at the gym. I have a gym here at our apartment and I haven't been to it yet because if you didn't know, I actually don't think I told you this, but I sprained my ankle a few weeks ago and it still really is bothering me, but it's getting better. So I think by the time December rolls around, I will be able to start going to the gym. I am not going to pressure myself to do even a half an hour. I'm telling myself 10 minutes in December every day, every single day, 10 minutes. That might just mean dancing to music in my apartment. That might mean doing an exercise video on YouTube for 10 minutes only. It might mean like doing squats or a plank or something, although planks hurt my shoulder. But you know what I mean? I can even work that into some of this other stuff. So say I'm listening to a podcast. I can do this and this at the same time. I will build that up as we go along, but that's hard for me because I'm not doing anything currently. With that, I'm going to talk about steps. So I'm going to be doing in December 4,000 steps. I know that's not a lot. And the reason that's not a lot is we're doing a little bit at a time. I'm not pushing myself to do 10,000 steps in December because I'm currently, I think, well, it's hard for me to tell because I don't have an Apple Watch, I don't have a Fitbit, so I'm basically using my phone. My phone is showing about 3,600 steps a day right now, but that's because I don't carry my phone everywhere. I'm considering getting an Apple Watch to really track my steps, but for now, what I mean by this is 4,000 steps according to my phone, which actually means a lot more than 4,000 that I'm getting. But you know what I mean. So that's my goal for every day. And I do walk the dog a lot, so it's not really a problem getting that in. All right, I'm going to talk about total water intake per day. I should have done it right after the water, but I didn't. So I should have written the amount first. Oh well. What I want to eventually build up to is 72 ounces of water per day. And what that means is 4 of my water bottles. So since I'm drinking 1 water bottle here, for December, I'm going to drink another 18 ounces during the day. 2 water bottles per day. Totally doable. I can do that. Right now, I'm barely drinking water. I'm super dehydrated. So that in itself will be a challenge for me. That is enough. Probably in January, I will build it up to 3 water bottles a day. And then February, I will get to 4 water bottles a day. The next one, I'm just going to write outside. So what that means is I need to get outside once a day. Let's rate 10 minutes. That's easy for me because I walk the dog. So that's one that is like kind of cheating because I'm going to be able to check it off pretty much every day. I need to get my vitamin D. I need to get a little bit of a brisk walk in. It just puts me in a better mood to be out in nature, especially if it's a nice sunny day. So at least 10 minutes outside, which, like I said, easy. On days that aren't rainy, I walk her for about 45 minutes per day right now. So that'll be cake for me. Okay, next we have 5 fruit and vegetable servings per day. I'm not starting slow with this one because this one I already kind of do, I think. I never count it, but I'm pretty sure I get 5 because I eat a lot of vegetables. But I'm going to start counting it kind of just in my head and make sure that that happens every single day. Because sometimes on weekends I'm not eating as well and stuff, and I really want to make sure that I get in those vitamins. So this one is no alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic by any means, but I have gotten into a habit of drinking wine during the week. So I'll have a glass or two. I was having a glass or two just about every night. That's not good for my body. It really isn't. And it really was just a habit. Remember how I talked about before this, I'm going to do this and after this, and then you get in that habit? Well, when I cooked dinner at night, that was my time when I would have wine. Or as soon as the day ended, it's 5 o'clock, I'm done working, let me relax, like I'll take a shower and then I'll have a glass of wine. So that kind of was my routine. So I'm getting out of that routine. For the last 2 weeks, I haven't had any wine at night except for on weekends, and it's been great. I feel a little more energetic in the morning, but I'm allowing myself to drink it on the weekends. So what I'm going to do probably is X out the weekend ones and count that because, like I said, weekends are okay in my rules, so I'm not counting that as part of the score, if that makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next sheet. Okay, the next one is going to be vacuum or sweep, really. And that doesn't mean I'm vacuuming my whole house every day. That means I'm vacuuming near the litter box, because the litter box, the cats walk out, and then even though we have a mat under it, some little specks will get on the floor, and it's easy for me to just sort of, oh, well, it's not that bad. And then 3 days later, I'm like, oh my God, there's litter all over the floor. And I don't want to do that. I want to keep this house tidy and neat, like I said. So vacuuming or sweep by the litter box every day. And that's easy because I'm already doing that currently, but I want to keep that up for sure. The next one is straightening up. What this means to me is picking up my area, especially in the living room, kitchen, and my office. And the office part is difficult for me. So at the end of the day, I am going to try to, I am a clean person. That's what I am a tidy person. Remember, it's about identity. But I'm going to be picking up my office the last, say, 10 minutes of every day before I stop work. And then also keeping the place clean. I just want to make sure that it is clean when I come out in the morning because that puts me in a better mindset. So this one I'm going to write social. And this is a little difficult for me, not always, but sometimes I tend to isolate, especially when I'm going through hard things. I sometimes am bad at texting friends or calling people, stuff like that. So I want to make sure that every day I do something, either go out, which I'm not going to say I'm going to go out every day because I'm not, or talk to someone on the phone, or send someone like an encouraging text asking them how they're doing, or talk to my mom or something like that, because I tend to forget. And also I tend to forget, and this is something I need to work on, I forget to ask people how they're doing, or say they had something happening in their life and I forgot to, ask them what's going on with that, or ask them how it went, or ask them how they're feeling. I forget to do that because I get caught up. I'm an easily overwhelmed person, so I get sort of caught up in my own head and I forget to do that. So I'd like to be a better friend, a better daughter, a better mother, a better fiance, all of that stuff. That is important to me, and I really need to work on some of that. So part of this social for me is to reach out to people, think, once a day, okay, what's going on in people's lives? What do I need to do to encourage them, or something like that. So this is just a little bit of social interaction per day. This does not include DMs or interacting on Instagram. That's important too, but this means in my personal life. All right, now I am going to write floss. I do floss pretty much every day, but not every day, I don't think. So I would just want to make sure I'm doing it every day because that's super important. I'm going to write lay out clothes because before bed I would like to lay out my clothes for the next day, put them in the bathroom so that when I wake up, brush my teeth, and do all of that. And my clothes are right there for me, so I don't have to hunt around and think what I'm going to wear. Not that I wear much more than sweats anyway, but it will just be easier for me to not even worry about that at all. So that's something super easy I can do. It takes like a minute or two at the end of the day as part of my bedtime routine. So the next one's difficult for me, and that is screen time. So typically when I go to bed, I lay in bed. Sometimes I'll even go to bed early. I could lay in bed for hours and watch TikToks or YouTube videos or read online or whatever I'm doing, or play games. And I want to limit that because it's not great for me to be on my phone until I fall asleep. Like literally, I am on my phone until I get sleepy and I'm falling asleep on my phone, and then I shut it off. And that's not good. I don't think that's good for me. So what I usually do now is I'll go in my bedroom around 10:30, and I'll lay on my phone until like midnight. I want to change that. So what I'd like to do is get to sleep by 11. We're going to start a little bit later than that because I'm trying to make this easier in December. So I think by 11:30 is reasonable for me. So what that means is whatever time I go in there, I'm not going to give myself a bedtime, but whatever time I go in there, I can be on my phone until 11. So if I go in there at 10, I can sit on my phone for an hour if I want. But then at 11 o'clock, I'm going to read a book. I don't know how to write this in. I guess phone off by 11. Now, what I eventually want to get to is not using my phone at night, but I don't want to start off with that because I think I will fail. So if I say phone off by 11, I can go in whenever I want. And then reading, I'm going to write half hour, but it can be less. I do get caught up in novels, and I haven't been reading any novels in a while. So this is basically relaxation reading. That's different from personal development. This is a non-stressful thing. This is something I'm reading, like a fun novel or a deep novel or whatever kind of novel I want, but it's fictional. And I think that will get me in a good mindset to fall asleep. I'm going to write asleep by 11:30. If it's earlier, great. Like last night, I actually went to bed by 11, and that's amazing because I woke up and I looked at my phone and it said I got 7 hours and 55 minutes of sleep. And that was like, whoa, that was so good because I don't usually get that much sleep. I usually get about 6 hours, and that's not enough. So if I get to sleep by 11:30, I wake up at 7:15. That gives me almost 8 hours of sleep every night, probably 7.5 if I am. It says to sleep by 7:30, so that means lights out, and then I fall asleep by say 11:45, probably sooner than that. But that should give me a solid 7.5 hours sleep. I want to work up to 8, but I don't necessarily need it. But 7.5 would be amazing if I got that every night. So in January, I might make it asleep by 11 because in January I'm going to make my wake up a little bit earlier. So as I adjust my wake up to be earlier, I need to adjust my sleep time to be earlier, and that will be like the same increments. Okay, this is what we have. These are the habits I'm tracking starting in December. I know it's a lot. I understand that, but I don't think it's too much because like I said, I'm doing most of these already. This is literally tracking the things I already do, just to be more consistent because I don't do them every single day. And I'm challenging myself so that I get a good score, so that I can give myself a reward. Okay, so this next block is going to say score. And I think I'll do this in like a more bold. This is a 12 Pigma Micron. Okay, so everything I do is going to be 1 point. So at the end of the day, actually it might be by the next day because I have to track this stuff too. So the next morning, I guess I'll do it when I am doing my planner, I will give myself a score for that day. Each of these is 1 point. I'm not scoring anything more than anything else. So here's going to be all my scores. And then at the end, let's see, where does this end? Right there. So right here. So at the end, let's just do a little line here. And this is where I'm going to write the score for the month. And what that means is I'm adding up all of these. So how many habits do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 24. So we have 24 habits and we have 31 days of December. So a perfect score for each day is 24. A perfect score for each month is 744. So I'm going to write it right here. And then I'm going to do another slash. And this is where I'm going to write my score. Actually, I should have done that there, like so much out of 744. Darn it. Wait, let's just change that. I'll just wait it out. Who cares? Okay, so let's write this here. All right. So that's what I'm shooting for. I know I'm not going to get that, you guys. It's not even probably going to be close to that. I'm not shooting for perfection here. What I'm trying to do is keep consistent as much as I possibly can. And like I said, I'm going to try not to skip 2 days in a row of anything. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. So then here, I'm going to write reward. And I'll be honest, before I started this video, I did not decide on what my reward for December will be. So I'm going to have to think about that and do that on my own. But what it might be is like buying myself new shoes or, you know, a night out somewhere, something of that nature. But I have to think about that. So what I'm going to do now is take some label paper. I want to decorate down here and cover this up. I know this video is getting kind of long, but I do want to decorate this. And I know you guys like decorative stuff, right? So this is Avery label paper. It just covers up stuff in your planner so that it's, because it's opaque, it has this backing so that you can't see through it. I just thought that would be, you know, the easiest way to cover up this section so that I can put stickers on it. The stickers on my scissors, they're always there. I cannot control it. I mean, I can. I could clean my scissors. Maybe I should have done that as a habit. Actually, that'll probably be the weekly habit because it's probably been at least a month since I've cleaned these scissors. But weekly habits will come later. That's, like I said, that's not something, I don't want to do too much too soon, and this is already a whole lot. So we're not going to bombard ourselves. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves if we can help it, right? Let me know in the comments if you do any sort of habit tracking and how you do it. Every month on my Patreon, we have a challenge. I give them a challenge for a planner, and what I did this month was habit tracking because I think, you know, since I was doing it anyway and working on this self-development thing, I thought I would challenge my patrons to do it. And some of them are like, yeah, and some of them were like, oh no, you know, can't we do something pretty? I mean, they didn't say that, but I've got that vibe. So you might see some more habit trackers on Instagram and stuff. The other thing I want to mention is that for December, I'm not doing a whole self-care planner, like a wellness planner. I think I plan to do one in January. So look out for that. I'm probably going to be setting that up, and that will go, like these habit trackers will go in there. But for now, it's just going to go in my regular planner, and I still have to figure out what to put in the wellness planner. I want to do some symptom tracking and things like that. So that's going to be coming in the future. Let's decorate the heck out of this. So here I have Christmas Florals Volume 2 by Kellofaplan. I'll link everything for you in the description box. I also have the Happy Holidays sticker book from the Happy Planner. This came in a Be Happy box, which is a limited edition box. It came with the sticker book and like, I forget what else was in there, you guys. It's so cute though. I will link it for you. I think it came with a Happy Notes notebook and some gift tags and like washi and other stuff. It did come with washi, I have that, but this is so cute. But I'm going to be combining these two because, you know, December feels like Christmas to me, so let's do themes for each month, I guess, right? So these florals I thought would be fun to use. They're Christmassy and they kind of match the colors in this book a little bit, kinda, you know, so I thought it would be good. Now the question is, do we decorate it this way or do we decorate it this way? Because I'm thinking now we need to decorate it this way. And the reason is it's going to be this way in my planner. Yes, I'm gonna be looking at it this way when I fill them out, but I think it makes sense to have it decorated like this because that's what I'm gonna see when I open the page. So let's go ahead and do that. I guess what I'll do up here is write something like healthy habits. I don't know. These are EK Success tweezers. These are the best ones I've found. I will link these for you. These clear stickers are really hard to pull up. I think I'm gonna cut this down so that I can put this up in the corner there and it'll fit. Okay, I'll write habits here or something. So we'll leave that open. I'm gonna put a little girl down at the bottom, I think. Let's see, like maybe this one. She's got her presents, very festive. And maybe we put a couple trees there too. Like make a little scene. I think I'll do the clear. I think there's a page of clear ones too. Yeah, I'll use these. Do a decorated tree too. Okay. Now we're going to put more of these florals on, I think, and maybe a little quote. Let's see. Jingle and mingle is cute. Happy holidays. I know it doesn't really match these florals too well, but we're gonna do it anyway. That's cute. And maybe we'll put a little piece of holly there or something. Okay. Why don't we take this one and put it across this way? To sort of separate that bottom part out. If that makes sense. Maybe I'll get some washi tape too, a little bit. Actually, I'll put a little there so that I can move this up a little bit. This washi, it's very red, but I think it'll work. I'm just gonna put a little pop of it there. I kind of wish I had written neater. It's very messy, but that's okay. What should I write? December habits. All right, we could do that. I'm just going to take a chance and freehand it. December. Now let's get a colorful pen for there. Maybe one in one of these colors because I feel like this doesn't really match that. So if we move some of that up, maybe it will. Okay, I think this one's pretty good. This is a Crayola Super Tip. If you're new to brush lettering or if you just love pens in general with different colors, I would suggest some Crayola Super Tips. They have this tip on it that you can use for brush lettering or regular lettering, and they're so good. And I know they're like just little kid markers, but I love them. And you can get them in so many different colors. I actually want to get a bigger set, but I really like these a lot. So I'm just going to write habits here, and I guess should we do it in, I'm not going to do like any kind of calligraphy. I'm just going to basically wing it. I guess I'm doing a fun font. I don't know. I'm running out of room. There we go. That's kind of cute. All right, so we have a little space here we can play with, and maybe we do another piece of washi and another girl. Let's do that. Okay. Let's see. I think we need a smaller girl, like one of these. I kind of like this one, but it's the same color as that. But hey, will it fit? I don't know if it'll fit. Let's take it off and see. It does. It fits. How cute is this? She's running into that a little, but I don't care. And then maybe another little doohickey up there. We don't have to, but why not? You know, a doohickey. Okay, that's so cute, isn't it? I think it's so cute. Okay, so here we have it. We could decorate this side or whatever if we wanted to, or down here where we're not using it, but I don't really care. I think that's cute enough. So this is my habit tracker. I need words of encouragement, you guys. I definitely do. So give me words of encouragement. You can do it, Mary Ellen. Come on, Planning with Bumble. You got this, you know. And if you want to do it with me, that would be awesome. I would love to see your habit trackers. You can tag me on Instagram so I can check them out. Thanks for watching. I know this was a long one, but I think it was hopefully beneficial. At least it was for me. So I will see you in my next one. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.